At 63, Melissa Sue Anderson finally talks about Karen Grassle. Melissa Sue Anderson was born on September 26, 1962, in Berkeley, California, a cool city full of new ideas, art, and free-thinking people. She was the younger of two girls. Her parents were James and Marian Anderson, and like a lot of families back then, they lived through all the big changes happening in the 1960s. Her big sister Maureen was 12 years older, so Melissa basically grew up with a sister who felt more like a grown-up friend than a little kid playmate. That made Melissa pretty independent, but she also had someone older looking out for her. When Melissa was only 7, her family left the Chill Bay area and moved down to Los Angeles. That move put her right next to Hollywood, and it totally changed her life. Things got tough when she was 13 because her parents got divorced. It was hard on her. She and her sister stayed with their mom, Marian, who raised them Catholic and gave them rules, faith, and a steady home even when everything felt messy. Even with all that going on, Melissa was already acting. As a little kid, she did commercials for big companies like Mattel and Sears, so she got used to being in front of cameras pretty early. It all really started when her dance teacher saw how graceful and expressive she was. The teacher told her parents to get her an agent, and once they did, Melissa started getting tons of commercials. She was good at being cute, but also showing real feelings. Soon, she started getting real TV roles. One super cute one was when she played Millicent on The Brady Bunch, the girl who gives Bobby his very first kiss. Fans still love that episode. That same year, she was also on an episode of Shaft, showing she could do tough crime shows too, not just funny family stuff. Then, when she was only 11, she got the huge role of Mary Ingalls on Little House O, then The Prairie. That part became the most important one of her whole life. She played Mary, the sweet, smart oldest daughter, for 8 seasons, starting in 1974. Mary went through some really heavy storylines. She left after season 7, but came back for 3 episodes in season 8, so fans could see Mary's story finish nicely. In 1976, Michael Landon, who created and starred in the show, asked her to be in his personal movie, The Loneliest Runner. She said it felt like a huge honor. She played Nancy Reese, the first girlfriend of the kid version of Michael Landon, played by Lance Kerwin. A year later, in 1977, she worked with Lance Kerwin again in the TV movie James at 15, playing his girlfriend and doing more sweet coming-of-age stories. People noticed how good she was. In 1978, she got nominated for an Emmy for Best Lead Actress in a drama for Little House. The next year, she actually won an Emmy for a different TV special called Which Mother Is Mine? That same year, she starred in a movie called The Survival of Dana, playing a teen girl from North Dakota who moves to LA and has to fit in at a new school, super close to her real life at the time. By 1980, the show was huge all over the world. She even won an award in Spain for Best Foreign Actress and got to go on a famous Spanish TV show. In 1981, she got nominated for a Young Artist Award for a scary slasher movie called Happy Birthday to Me, proving she could do horror too. After Little House ended, she kept working on shows like The Equalizer, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Chips and Murder, she wrote. She also worked behind the camera as an associate producer on Michael Landon's last TV movie, Where Pigeons Go to Die, in 1990. In 1998, she was put into the Western Performers Hall of Fame in Oklahoma because of all her Western TV work. In 1999, she was in a short show called Partners with Heather Langenkamp. Way later, in 2014, she popped up uncredited as a mom in the Veronica Mars movie, which made old fans really happy. In 1990, Melissa married television writer and producer Michael Sloan. It wasn't just a Hollywood thing. They really got each other and respected each other's busy careers. She says Michael kept her grounded after all the crazy fame from Little House. They had 2 kids pretty quickly. First came their daughter Piper. Then, a few years later, their son Griffin. She says becoming a mom changed everything and made Hollywood feel less important. She raised her kids away from cameras and paparazzi, giving them the normal childhood she never really had. In 2002, the whole family left California and moved to Montreal, Canada. They wanted quiet, culture, and privacy. Melissa loved the city's mix of old and new, and Michael could still work from there. After living there a while, they all became official Canadian citizens on Canada Day, 2007. Melissa said it felt like starting a brand new, happy chapter. But then came something really sad. Her husband, Michael Sloan, passed away on August 13, 2025 in New York City, where he had been working. They had been together over 30 years. It was a huge loss for her, the kids, and everyone who knew him. Now, at 63, Melissa says she's finally ready to look back and talk about things she used to keep private, especially stuff from Little House on the Prairie. After staying quiet for years about the drama on set, she decided to open up about Karen Grassle, the actress who played Mary Ingalls. She says getting older gives you freedom and clearer feelings. "I'm finally in a place where I can talk about all of it," she said, "and not feel like I'm hurting anyone or digging up old fights." She wanted to be kind and fair. Her words about Karen were honest but utterly gentle. She started by saying how much Karen helped her when she was just a little girl on set. Karen had this warm, mom-like vibe. Even when the grown-ups were stressed, she made me feel safe. Melissa watched Karen deal with long days, arguments, and big creative fights, and still act classy. "I learned how to act, but also how a woman should carry herself in this business." She didn't hide the tricky parts either. Everyone knows there was tension between Karen Grassle and Michael Landon. "Some days you could feel it in the air," Melissa said. "As a kid you don't get why, but you know something's off." She stayed closer to Michael, but still felt bad for Karen. "I could tell she was doing her best. She really cared about her character and fought for what she thought was right. I respect that way more now." She even talked about why she and Karen weren't super close back then. "When you're young, you stick with your own little group. I had my people, Karen had hers. It wasn't mean, just different circles." Now she thinks Karen was carrying a lot more pressure than anyone knew. She wanted Ma to feel real and important, and she carried that quietly, and I admire that so much more today. The sweetest part was when Melissa said getting older makes you see who really helped you grow up. Karen guided me, protected me, and pushed me, in her own way. I didn't see it then, but I totally see it now. She says any old distance doesn't matter anymore. I'm just really grateful for her. She was a huge part of that show and deserves every bit of love she gets. So after all these years, Melissa's words don't feel like juicy gossip. They feel like a grown-up actress giving a kind, heartfelt thank you to the lady who stood next to her on that prairie, both of them just trying to figure life out.